So, me and Brett are working on doing some slight modifications to our amp arms. Well, actually, the Team Wendy um, adapters for the amp arms, and we just thought we'd film what we're doing, just in case there's somebody else that wants to. I'm looking at this, and it's actually cracked, which is the main reason why we're making these modifications, because I love Team Wendy and I love Team Wendy's helmets and I love the rails, and I also love the amp arms, the way they come around the back instead of from the top. But the thing that I hate are these adapters. They're made out of plastic. They break. I've broken two, and Brett has broken one. Team Wendy is really good about replacing them for free, which is great. But if there's ever a situation where Team Wendy doesn't exist, or we can't get a hold of Team Wendy, or some shit hits the fan scenario where you don't have them anymore, if these break, you're done. So unless you stack them deep, you need to have a better solution to mount them to your helmet. So I was actually talking to a dude on Instagram a couple weeks ago, and he came up with this really cool mod. I'll link his Instagram in the description of this video. I can't remember his name, but basically, instead of the like self-tapping wood screw that these amp arms come with, and like taps into the plastic, what you do is you take a size 6 machine bolt and a thin nut, and you drill into. I've got one that's we did already. Where's that at? You drill into the adapter, and you just have the screw coming in from there, and then it comes in through the back there. So it's way more rigid. It's not wobbly, because the problem with this one is your arms will come loose after a while, which is super annoying. If with the arms flopping all over the place, which isn't a huge deal when you're actually wearing them, but if you're trying to stow them up or store them in any way, having them flop loose is awful, and eventually they'll crack. Like I said, that just happened to me, and it's also happened to Brett, so we're trying to prevent that from happening in the past or in the future. So yeah, there's a guy on Instagram that I was talking with about it, and this is a mod that he did, and I've done it to one set already. And it seems to work really, really good. We haven't actually ran it yet, so I don't know if it's going to be, how well it's going to work long term, but we're going to give it a try. So I just thought I'd make a video on exactly how, the process of how we did it. So, just at your hardware store, get the size 6 32 machine bolts with the pan heads. And these ones are 3/4 inch long, which is just a tiny bit too short, but the 1-inch ones were too long, so I'd rather just go a little too short, so it's not, catching on the rail of your helmet. And then I took my calipers and measured the diameter of the nut, and then gave it about 50 thou more than it needed to be, which in this case comes out to about 400 thou. And I put painter's tape on the adapter itself, and then we just draw it with an ink pen 4 thou or 0.4 400 thou around the side there, and then you just take a Dremel and you just cut a notch out of it. Alright, so we got that notch dremeled out, and now we just got to put it on. So you just put it on like you would normally. Can't remember if I mentioned it yet or not, but this hole is just the tiniest bit too small for this screw, so it actually kind of self-taps just a little bit. Yeah, there we go. And the nut goes on like that. Okay, so it's just peeking up over that We'll just have to get that seated in there. Wrench that down. And then from there you can put your wrench there and you can actually torque it down without having to worry about stripping the plastic. So you can actually get that adapter on there tight so it's not wobbling all over the place when it's on your helmet. There we go. It's still got a little bit of play, which is, you don't want it too tight because then you won't be able to actuate the arm. But just like that should be good. Freaking kid. Okay, so it's done. I've got the other one on there already. This one's all done. I noticed before we did this mod, we would shim up this slot here with duct tape because it was really floppy, and having that duct tape shim in there helped, you know, keep it from flopping as much. But putting this one on, I noticed that the duct tape shim actually made it too tight. So I'm not sure what about making this more secure made it not need that extra, you know, shim in there for tolerance. But you don't need it now. Like it's pretty tight to get in there without it. So cool. It's one less janky jerry rig thing you have to do to it to get it to work. Line up properly. Oh, too high. There you go. Okay. Put that in. Move that around. I just wanted to demo how much tighter that is, so it's not wobbling around like crazy now. It's pretty tight. And to actuate it up, you actually have to put some oomph behind it instead of just flopping around. So yeah, there we go. It's a really cheap mod. It's not difficult to do. You don't actually even need the calipers to do it. I just have them, so I use them. But yeah, if you're breaking your Team Wendy amp arm adapters all the time, and you want them to be a little bit more stiff like that, that seems to work. As far as like taking material off of it and how much like weaker, you know, it compromises the adapter itself. Obviously, we haven't run them yet, so I've got no idea if it makes it weaker or not. But if it makes it stronger, then I guess it's worth the experiment to see if it's actually better or not. But I guess, I don't know. End of the summer, I'll do an action report or whatever and see if it's actually, if they're holding up still.